Hello, hello, hello. It's Dr. Stephanie Fine here, 12:30 on a Thursday. I'm so happy to see you. I am chief physician at Maintenance University, and we talk about how to maintain your weight loss. That's our job here. And we do a pretty good job of it too. And today we are going to talk about how you can lose weight in your sleep, which is not exactly that way, but if you sleep well, you won't have cravings and you won't be hungrier. So it's really true that if you're sleeping well, you will have better chance of maintaining your weight, but sleep in and of itself doesn't do that, although really it does. So what happens is if you're not getting good sleep, your circadian rhythms get off, and they are very much connected to our food and our hormones. It's really interesting. In fact, side note, with fasting, the circadian rhythms are an important part of how fasting helps you maintain weight and settle your hormones. So circadian rhythms, hormones, and then your eating and sleeping patterns really make a difference for how your body reacts and if it makes you hungry or that sort of thing. The other thing that's really clear with losing sleep is if you're tired, we don't make good decisions. I mean, just point blank, we don't make, and food is a place that we have to be, vigilant is too strong a word, but aware of the food choices that we're making. And when we're tired, yeah, we don't want to. And also literally hormones are released that do in fact make you hungrier and crave carbs. So it's really important to get good sleep. So a lot of times people will talk about falling asleep, that issue. We're not going to talk about that so much, except to say that sleep hygiene, so a good sleep routine, going to bed similar time every night, not having screen time right before, those things are really important to be able to get to sleep. But today we're talking about interrupted sleep. And I don't know about you, but after a certain number of years on the planet, we start to have more of that. Also during pregnancy. I mean, you'll definitely, it's definitely something that happens around then too. So I wanted to talk a couple of things there. Getting up a bunch of times at night can disrupt your sleep and make you feel tired in the morning. So the point being is that feeling rested is the issue. There are some people on this planet that need very little sleep. I'm not one of them, but there are on the planet. And the point is if you feel rested. So the recommendation is 7 to 9 hours each night. If you're getting less than that and you feel tired, then you want to see what you can do to work on getting more. Again, good for your maintaining weight. And some of these will help. So if your sleep is interrupted and you can't fall back asleep, that's where we get those, hours of looking up at the ceiling. It's, 2 in the morning, that sort of thing. And that's what I want to help you with today if I can. So the first area is environment. So having it be cool in the room, the exact temperature is, depends on what you want, but a cooler room so that you can be under the blankets if you need to, that is helpful. The daylight is an issue. If you want to wake up with the sun, then great. But if you don't and you want to sleep when it's light out and the daylight is changing, then it really will help to get sort of blackout screens. We did that for my kids' rooms or right when the sun rises, and it was a huge issue. And we got blackout curtains, solved the problem. The other thing too is what you wear. So if you wear sweats or you could sweat through them depending on if that's happening to you, sweat. So sometimes sleeping in the buff really helps that situation. Your body regulates yourself easier when it doesn't have certain clothes on. My trick that I wanted to tell you about, and it's all because my husband is fabulous and thought of this, I was getting night sweats, sweating at night. And he thought of performance shirts, like sports performance shirts, that their whole job is wicking away sweat. Oh my, it changed my life. Now, they're not pretty, but they work so well. So there's mine is from Under Armour, but I mean, any wicking kind of shirt makes such a difference. Oh my gosh, that is my my tidbit to you today is that if you get too hot at night and you're sweating, if you try this material, it wicks the sweat away, and you're not sitting in freezing cold wetness, and that won't wake you, and so then you can sleep easier at night. So that's the point, is that your body can handle it. It's not in wet clothing, and therefore you're more comfortable. So that's for the environment. The other part, of course, is noise. And that can be, the main noise is, like garbage trucks in the morning, but also a partner that snores. If you figure that one out, please let me know. That would be great. Now, one thing I do want to say is, if you are someone who snores a lot, make sure that you have yourself checked out, that you don't have sleep apnea. So sleep apnea can also be a reason that you wake up a lot. And it feels like it's for no reason, but it's because you've stopped breathing. You definitely need to go to your doctor to figure that one out. So if you're having major problems with waking at night, you need to get examined by a physician. There's lots of things that could be causing that, and sleep apnea gone unchecked, can absolutely cause problems like heart disease and irregularities with hormones also. So sleep apnea is serious and needs to be checked out. And if you don't know if you have it, you might as well go check it out, and then you'll know. And then if you don't have it, you do something else. So that brings me to the other main one, which I wanted to talk about today, which is getting up to pee. So if you have an issue with having to pee all the time, all day long and all night long, that's sort of a different thing. And I definitely would also go to your physician for that. But if you're just having, it's not a problem in the day, and you're just getting up 2 or 3 or 4 times at night, again, if you can fall right back asleep, it's not a problem. But if you are in danger of not falling right back asleep, then you can actually train your bladder, depending on why this is happening, to go less often. And again, you need to check it out. But if you're only having this at night, and it's not medications and it's not anything else, and you can check that with your doctor, then you can just train yourself not to. And the way I would recommend that is, and you can just give it a try in the meantime when you go see your doctor, which is, let's say the first time you wake up is a good 3-4 hours after you've fallen asleep. That's a likely one where you might actually have to pee. So go ahead. But if you're up another hour after that, and another hour after that, and another hour after that, that may just be a habit you've now gotten into. And you can extinguish that habit by not giving in to the pee. So if you have the first 3 or 4 hours and you go, and then you fall back asleep, and then you're up again pretty soon after, don't go. And then fall back asleep. And then maybe the next time, if you wake up and normally there's a lot of pee with that one, then go ahead and do that. But you can extinguish you can get 4 times down to 2, which would be a huge change and much better for your system and rest. So it's called bladder training. You can also look it up online if you want more information. Again, it's ideal if you do this with your doctor's advice, because then you'd be knowing why you would, if this is the right treatment. But you pretty easily, once you know the issue, can get from 4 to 2, or from 3 to 1 even potentially, which really would make a big difference. So those are the things I wanted to talk to you about today in terms of sleep. So remember, the reason we care about the sleep is because it directly affects your ability to make decisions about your food, and that directly affects your weight. And we're all about keeping our weight the same, or even losing some. So why make it harder on yourself? There's no reason. There's also so many wonderful things that sleep is good for too, but it really is directly related to your weight loss. So work on getting good sleep. Routines for the going to bed and waking up are really good too, but able to fall asleep. And then figure out what you can do to make yourself not necessarily have to wake up in the middle of the night, or reduce the number of times. That's it for today. That was sleep. I hope you're getting some. I know that there's a lot going on, and that absolutely can be contributing to it. And so that's one thing I'll tell you too, is this way of, so counting backwards. You remember counting sheep? And this you could use for falling asleep, but I use it in the middle of the night if I wake up. you just need something boring. It's really like, that's why counting sheep, it's a random. You can count carrots, it doesn't matter. You can just count is also the issue. And counting backwards, but for something bigger than 100, because often you'll get through 100 too quick. So a lot of people recommend 1,000. I've settled in on 200. If I start at 200, I won't get all the way down and I'll fall asleep. And the reason for that is you're then focusing on the number and your mind isn't spinning off with all the craziness that we could be thinking about right now, which will definitely keep us awake. So the counting, when you're trying to get to sleep after interrupted sleep, counting backwards from 200, 300, any number you want, will absolutely help. And it's because you're focusing on one thing that's relatively boring while not focusing on all the other thoughts that would keep you awake. So have a great night's sleep. And I will be here next week. Always happy to talk to you. If you put in any comments here on live or the replay, I will definitely get back to you. I love talking with you. I hope you have a fantastic week, and I'll see you next time. Bye.